Dana Evans is here to talk about all things, not just Chicago Sky, but the Dana Evans Elite AAU team as well, and much more. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
Ogunbowale for the win.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.
Well, hi there, everyone, and happy Thursday to you. I am Howard Megdal, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen every day, that we continue to break records. We are over 100,000 listeners here in July. Again, that's our third straight month with that mark reached, and it's going to be the highest number that we've hit yet. So thank you for making us a huge part of what you do. Of course, it is not just me. It is the entire team over at thenexthoops.com, where we have over 100 reported pieces about women's basketball every month, a reporter in every single WNBA market. Make sure you subscribe, thenexthoops.com, $9 a month, $72 a year. And something that I've taken great pleasure in is the fact that we have had stories about Dana Evans dating back to her collegiate days. Dana is breaking new ground here in Chicago. Dana, when you think about what this year has been, new opportunities, more playing time, has there been a moment that really stands out to you as like, wow, this really feels like I've reached a new level?
Yeah, I would say I've had some spurts where I've shown that I can really compete on this level. I feel like there were games towards the beginning that I was showing that I could do more than just be an offensive player. I feel like I've gotten better defensively. I would say just putting pressure on the ball, just showing different dynamics of my game, because I don't think I've been able to show everything that I can do. But I think I'm getting better and better every game, every practice. It's a process because this is the best league in the world. So you have to give yourself grace, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better since my rookie year for sure.
So it's interesting. And so in segment one, we're going to talk about the way in which that has manifested itself with the Sky here in 2023 and how you got here. Over in segment two, want to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty. I like to get nerdy on the program to talk about your elevated levels of efficiency around the rim, and also about Dana Evans Elite Basketball and about the way you're giving back to the generation that's coming up behind you. But let's start with what it has meant this year. And we talked during the offseason, and we've written about it as well, that it felt to you like a hinge point in your career at the WNBA to be able to get that regular role. Take me through, those conversations with Chicago and sort of what thinking was about this point in time for the Dana Evans career.
Well, so in the off season, when I was overseas, I was doing a lot of talking with the coaching staff. I was talking with James a lot. And he was saying that I was going to have a bigger role this year. And he was telling me the things that he expects from me this season. So first and foremost, that's always comforting, and it's always giving you more confident when you're hearing that from the coach saying that you're going to have a bigger role. So I think I was prepared and I was ready for it. But I think just me being able to finish around the rim this year has been so much better than the past 2 years. But the only thing now is my 3-point percent has dropped a little bit. But that's just the game of basketball. Once you get better at this area, then you got to clean this up and clean this up. So you just got to stay sharp and working on everything. But I think I've grown finishing with floaters, getting in the lane, pulling up. Just reading the defense more instead of just going at one speed. Also think changing my gears, changing my speeds, keeping defense off balance is always key. And just watching different players that I think I can play like, and just stealing things from their game as well.
And again, listeners, you'll forgive my point of personal privilege, but I've been seeing Dana sink shots since Louisville. Like the point of like, gee, is the 3-pointer going to go down? Like I don't have any question about it. But Dana, from like a professional perspective, like, do you feel like there's something mechanical that's changing, or is it really just like the next one's going down?
I just think it's a mental thing as well. I think towards the beginning of the year, maybe I wasn't as focused on my just catch and shoot as I normally is. But now I'm getting back into that mood where I'm able to put everything into one. I mean, there's so many different things that you can work on, and I'm a perfectionist, so I would like to perfect things like as I go. So that's something that I've been building on, but I don't think anything mechanical 3-point wise. I feel like they feel good, they look good. They'll start falling. I know they will, because when you put the time in, you're going to get rewarded for that. So I have no thing about that, no biggie about that. And even free throws, I know that's something that I'm really efficient at and I'm really good at. So I'm not going to think too much on it. I think it's just a mental thing. I just got to see him going in and I'll be fine.
I will just say that it's only low by like your standards. You're hitting 81% free throws.
Yeah, I'm really, that's me always.
That's elite by anyone else's measure. But no, no doubt about that. And again, you did talk about the defensive side of things. And, obviously there's been a coaching change, but before James left, how much was that a focus of what they were looking for from you? And B, just the fact that, you're getting into passing lanes more. And this is, very similar to what you did back in college, where your steal percentage is more than doubled where it was last year. So
sure.
Kind of take me through why and how you're able to be more productive in that way.
I think I just focused more on it. I think it was just more of a point of emphasis, and I want to be on the floor. I want to contribute to this team, and that's one point that I think I can really help this team, being disruptive, not letting people get into sets. And I think that also just creates transition points for us. It creates easy opportunities for us to score and get out. And it just kind of gets me going defensively. That kind of gets me going. If I just focus on the defense, I know the offense will come. That's something I don't have to worry about. But yeah, that was something that before James left, we talked a lot about defensively. He wanted me to be a pest. He wanted me to get into people, guard them 94 feet, because it's not easy, right? Nobody wants to guard 94 feet, especially at the pro level where everybody's so good. But I think that's what separates you. So that's what I've been doing. And you have to be in really good shape to do that. I mean, picking up and then running the team and doing that. So that's something that I've been pretty good at. But I feel like playing overseas got me in really good shape because I played 37 minutes a game, right? So I never really came out. So I was just in really good shape when I came back, and I didn't get out of shape. So that's where I'm able to do that.
In the early games, it was 38.8 minutes per game. It was just like you were going to be on the floor. Like this got to feel like nothing, right? 22 minutes a game has got to feel like easy for you after that.
Honestly, it is for sure. And then
It makes sense. And you're seeing the value, obviously, on both ends with that. And you're seeing the way in which you're able to have that impact on the court. It is obviously an unconventional year off the court, right? With the coaching change. And, when you're having that conversation with James and James going, take me through what that's been like to process, how that transition has been. And, what are some ways that you've navigated that just, emotionally as this is all happening?
I would honestly say it was tough for me. I'm not used to change. I stayed at Louisville all 4 years. Obviously, I got drafted to Dallas, but that was super early. So I've been with Chicago. I've been with James. He's been my coach. So that's what I've been used to. And I feel like we were developing a really good relationship and everything. And then that happened. But I understand things happen and you got to do what's best for you and your family. But it was tough. It was definitely tough, but I love Emre. I think Emre's doing a good job, and he's so caring, and he's genuine with everything that he does. So that makes us want to go hard for him. He's been doing a good job, and we're just trying to get that dialogue with each other and learn each other more and more, because Emre was the coach at Merson when I was overseas, and I played against his team with Chelsea Gray and Jonquel Jones. I don't know if you're familiar, but with that team. So he saw me being just a scorer out there overseas, and he know what I can do. So I feel like he has trust in me, and he builds confidence in me as well, which is really good. But yeah, it was hard. But we're here now.
For sure. And I'm excited to get into what being here now means and the specifics of it, even going forward. First, let the people at home know, of course, about FanDuel. And FanDuel has a deal offered right now to our listeners betting specifically on Major League Baseball. If you bet on MLB, you can get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. So you bet 20 bucks and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. And it's 200 you can spend betting on anything. It could be the money line, over under, even who you think's going to hit the first home run in a particular game. It's all on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you can get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today at FanDuel.com/locked on. That's FanDuel.com/LOCKEDON to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/locked on. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. So, Dana, I'm so curious about this because there's a mirroring of the numbers from college to the pros. And I'm wondering if you're A, feeling it, and B, how you're making it happen. And I'll go back to like your senior year at Louisville, and you were a bucket from the moment you got there. But in your senior year, suddenly you were finishing at the rim at an elevated level. It was what I remembered. I went back, did the research, and yeah, your 2-point percentage went up from 40 to 47 in Louisville that senior year.
Wow.
And I remember talking to you about it at the time, and it was like a combination of like size, speed, strength, like different things you were manifesting. Well, look what is going on here. We're seeing it once again here around the rim. You are hitting 64.3% of your shots. You know, it's easy for people to say, you know, oh, she's one of the shorter people on the court. It doesn't matter when it comes to performance. And you're showing that against the biggest, strongest players in the world. Take me through A, how much of a point of emphasis that was, and B, how you see it happening.
I would say first is just building your confidence. You got to be confident going in there. You can't be second guessing yourself. You got to be confident in what you're doing. So I would say it starts with confidence, and it also starts with just repetition as well. The more reps you get, the more comfortable you get, the easier it is. That's with anything you do in life. So that's kind of what I do. I just want to rep out, and I want to be confident going in there. And now I'm seeing the results. You put the work in and you see the results. I watch film. I know the things that I need to do. I know I can always beat my first defender, but when that other defender steps up, or what's your next read, or do I need a floater? Do I need a jump shot? Do I need this? Do I need all the way to the basket? So it's finding those reads as well, and just being creative off of that. And I think repetition is huge for me.
When you talk about repetition, there also seems to be two things that are interrelated. And tell me if I'm right about this. So the fact that from 3 to 10 feet, you had this huge jump as well. You were slightly below 40% from that range, and you're north of 56% shooting there. So when you talk about like the floater, about the stopping, about the defenders, they have to respect both. Is that what's leading to the success in both instances?
Yes, I do. I think when you have both of those things in your game, and also being able to be a shooter, I feel like that opens the floor up more for you, because they have to respect you on the 3-point line. They have to close out. And then in the middle, when you're getting in the middle, they have to respect that too, because you have a mid-range and a pull-up. But then again, you got another speed that you can go. You can hezzy, you can in and out, you can get creative, and then you can explode to the basket. So it's being able to score at all three levels also opens the floor up more for you, more room for you, because they have to respect you from all angles of the floor. And I think that's where I'm able to create.
You talked about you want your game to resemble some other players. Take me through who are your patterns that you're looking to do? Who are you looking to grab from, and what are you looking to grab from them?
I would say I always used to watch Skylar Diggins. I love the way she plays off the screen. I mean, it helps to have BG as well, for sure. She sets really, really good screens, but I would say just her thought process. I feel like when she comes off that screen, she always waits a little bit, depending on if that defender's there or not. I like how she can score at all three levels, the three, the mid-range, and all the way to the basket. That just makes you so much more effective and so much harder to guard. I like watching Kelsey Plum. I think when she get in there, she gives you pump fakes, up and unders. So it's like everybody does something different but really good. And if you just steal little pieces from everybody, then you can be a complete player. So I think Kelsey's really good with the up and unders, the getting you in the air, where Skylar is more of a reader, and Chelsea Gray is great at when she's coming off that screen, she stops and holds you for a second so she can survey the floor and then she can go. So just taking like little bits and pieces from everybody's game, because I'm playing against the best players in the world, like I said. So just stealing things from them and continue to grow myself as a player.
It's fun to see, and I'm so curious to see them continue to be integrated into your game as you go forward on the court. I also it's obviously a different group this year in Chicago than it's been. And I'm wondering if you could just kind of take us inside what that's been like, to have Elizabeth Williams as a teammate, to be able to sort of integrate different people into the Chicago Sky mix. What role are you taking, number one? And number two, have you begun to think of it a little bit differently in terms of taking more of a veteran leadership role as part of that, as somebody who's been here now for a while?
No, for sure. And I was just joking with somebody and saying that somebody called me a vet the other day, and I couldn't believe it, because it's still like, I still feel new. I still kind of feel a little fresh, but I've been here. I know the expectations. I know how we do things here. So I have been very vocal this year, very helpful. I feel like if anybody ever needs anything, I feel like they kind of run to me and ask me things, but I'm always here. And I just want the best. I just want the best for the team. I want the best for the players. I feel like collectively as a group, this is a really close team. I feel like we always want to be around each other. We always want to hang out. We always want to do things. So that just creates chemistry. That just creates bonding and knowing your teammates off the court. I think just translates over to the game. And that's why I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this team. I know our record isn't great. I know this, I know that, but I'm not worried. I promise you I'm not. I feel like this team wants to win. We want to do whatever it takes to win. But it's just a few things that we just got to clean up, and I think we'll be just fine. I think we just continue to build that chemistry with each other, keep watching film, and also, I feel like this team is able to take some criticism. I feel like we can get on each other and know that it's genuine. It's coming from somebody that cares about you, but we just want to see you do good. So that's always good with teams.
To hold each other accountable, obviously, is key, no doubt about it. Off the court, what's been the best bonding activity this year?
The best bonding activity, I want to say, probably was E's birthday. We did a fun boat, so we had a great time. We just got to know each other, just hanging out and just kicking it outside of basketball. Because when you're on the court, it's serious. You got to focus. You got to do this. But outside of the court, we can really talk. We can really get to know each other, and that just makes it better for when you're on the court. Because when you got somebody yelling at you, but we were just hanging out and we were just doing this, doing that, you don't take it as personal, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's not personal because you're like, it's coming from a place of love because she wants the best for me. But it could be a little aggressive, but she wants the best for me. So I think that just always translates. But that was super fun. We had a great time. I
love that. Elizabeth Williams bringing people together, and Dana Evans bringing people together as well. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about Dana Evans elite basketball.
Yes, okay.
So Dana Evans elite basketball, the AAU team. Tell me about it. What's the genesis of it? What made you? Like you said, you've been in the league a few years, but you're still relatively new to it. To be able to give back so quickly and so significantly, it really speaks to me, and I want to know where it comes from for you. So talk to me about it.
For me, I wouldn't say first. I just remember because I'm from Gary, obviously, and that's a really small town, and it's hard to get like AAU teams. So I had to play for Speech Gym Rats, which was super far for me, and it was hard for my parents, which was an inconvenience for us. But my parents made it happen. But I want to say I have a guy named Tim. He's running the whole Dana Evans Elite for me down there in Louisville. He's doing an amazing job. So he's staying on top of everything with me. He proposed this idea to me last year when I was overseas and hungry. I was hurt, so I had a lot of downtime. And he was like, what do you think about this, having a Dana Evans Elite team in Kentucky? They love you out there. That would be dope. And also, it would be affordable, and it would be good exposure for kids in inner cities that are not able to go play for Kentucky Premier, not able to play for the EYBL teams. So that's what I wanted to do. And I thought that was a great idea when he said that. I said, I love that. So we went with that, and it's been doing really good. They just won nationals. They've been killing it. So Dana Evans Elite is doing really good. It's a program for kids that cannot always go and play for Premier or the EYBLs or the Under Armour teams. It's somewhere local, is easier, and it's not as expensive. We try to make it as affordable as possible for everybody. So yeah, that's just my way of giving back, because I remember when I was in those shoes.
It is just, if you'll allow me a point of personal privilege to our listeners, to be able to have that gap shrink in terms of affordability and making sure that everyone is able to access basketball at the highest level. It's so important. So Dana, thank you for what you're doing there, and congratulations to everything that is growing in your game here, overseas as well. I look forward to continuing to cover. To our listeners, thank you as always for joining us. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow because we are here with you 6 days a week. Until then, I'm Howard Megdal, wishing all of you a wonderful Thursday.
Ogunbowale for the win.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.